You see all of these groundbreaking tactics on YouTube in blogs, but today I'm going to show you the basics to set up your tactical plan. So welcome to today's video. My name is Paul, also known as the Northman, and in this video I'm going to go through how you should get going and get set up your tactics in Football Manager, but not just one tactic. In this guide I'm going to be looking at how I piece together two tactics to work side by side to make sure you can be offensive and defensive with the click of a button, not having to adjust 10-15 different things during a game. Now, if you are new to the channel, please make sure you do go down and hit that subscribe button so you do not miss any content going forward. Now, if you are an experienced Football Manager player, maybe this video is not for you. This is just to help people who really do struggle with piecing together their tactical setup. Quite often I will see people who have a 4-5-1 as the first tactic. Then their second tactic is a tactic which just does not work for the players they have available. Now, if you are winning a game 1-0, 2-0, 2-1, and during that game you need to make an adjustment, or if you are going to a top team and you want to make sure you are a bit more defensively set up to start the match, then it's always nice to have two tactics which you can jump between for this situation. Now, I am 5 seasons in to my series stuff on Football Manager. My offline save, I'm in season 3. We've won back-to-back promotions and are top of the division again in season 3. And on my YouTube series, we have played 2 seasons and also won back-to-back promotions, and all set up with the same premise, slightly different player instructions, individual tactical changes, but the same shapes. So my first and initial tactic is a 4-5-1, which I, in this save, call Linton Home. Now, this is set up to be a direct offensive tactic. We are in possession, we are going more direct. Now, direct doesn't mean route 1. Direct goes from defender, might pass once in the midfield, then up front. It's direct, it's not long ball, it's direct. We are being more disciplined, but that's mainly just due to the level I am at. My players really do just give the ball away a lot if you don't force them to be disciplined. And we are working the ball into the box with the idea that it gives players from midfield chance to get forward. I don't want the ball in too early because I don't have the players available to score on their own. The more players in the box, the more chance of me actually scoring a goal. And we are counter-attacking when we've won the ball, and we are distributing to our central defender just because our goalkeeper's passing attributes are so bad. It does actually help going into defence first, and then we work our way through the field there. In terms of out of possession, we have a low defensive line due to the speed of my defenders, the pace and acceleration. I have a trigger press of more often with prevent goalkeeper distribution. That just means my front 3 are keeping high and stopping the opposition being able to play out from the back. And we do have get stuck in because I find if I don't have that on, my players will watch the opposition just stroll past them. But whilst this is my tactical setup, the premise of this video is not to show you the tactic and say, look, this tactic is the tactic you should use. This is my way of saying, okay, so this is my initial setup. This is the initial idea, the starting point. The starting point of my players. A back 4, standard back 4, a defensive mid, 2 central midfielders where one gets forward, a left winger, a right winger, and a striker. Now, when we go to my backup tactic, all of the players on the pitch can play this backup tactic. So if I need to make the adjustment on the 60th minute, I know I don't have to make substitutions. I don't have to go into the tactical screen, and adjust any of these. I don't have to make adjustments because the player physically can't play in that position. They can all play in the new position. Now, the difference in the tactic is my wingers are on support. Now, that means they are almost like an attacking wing-back, you could say. Now, the reason behind that is both my central midfielders are bombing forward. So, when we have the ball, the tactic will go from this to, what we can do is we can move them up. So they will go up there. Now, I have an inverted wingback on support. That means he will come in here. So what you end up finding is the defensive moves over. Then we can also have an inverted fullback on that side, and he comes in there. So as you can see, this tactic is quite different to the home tactic. But at the same time, it is set up in a way where I don't need to make any adjustments. I don't need to make substitutions. I don't need to make alterations to the player instructions. It's all about finding the fluid movement between your tactics. And that would be my advice for today, is the fluid movement. So if we went to create a new tactic, okay, create our own, and let's say we're going to go basic and go just a 4-4-2. So you have a 4-4-2 tactic, and what you need to do, let's just clear the selection. What you need is you need a home tactic and an away tactic. So let's say your home tactic is a very attacking, very direct, very route one 4-4-2. Okay? You need players who can play in 2-3 positions. So if you are struggling in a game, you can go a little bit more offensive. So maybe you can have a tactic where your second tactic is a more attacking 4-4-2 with attacking wingers. That can be an option you can look at. You can maybe have your second tactic being a slightly more defensive one. So both your centre midfielders can also play defensive midfield. Your wingers stay there. But maybe what you can do is have one of your strikers who can also play in attacking midfield drops back. And for the final 10 minutes of a game, you go to this tactic. And within this tactic, you work the ball into the box, because that would mean you are not losing possession quickly. You have shorter passing, again, because you want to retain the possession a little bit more and see out a game. Clinch the victory. Just be a bit more solid, a bit more tighter. But these are the adjustments you should be making to make sure you don't just have one killer tactic, but you have two. And hopefully this simple explanation in not just a guide to a kick-ass tactic, but a guide to how you should have two tactics which work hand in hand with each other, two tactics which you can move between. Hopefully this can help you get going in Football Manager. Hopefully it can help you just start to piece together a winning formula. Now, if this did help you, please make sure you do comment below. I've been Paul, also known as the Northman, and I'll see you next time.